Okay, welcome to Spanish 2 and 3. Today we're going to go over Unit 25, and let's take a look at the agenda. So we have the calendar for week 9, our essential question for week 9. We're going to go over measurements for vocabulary and demonstrative adjectives and pronouns for the grammar section for the unit. Okay? So you can, if you're watching via Blackboard, you should be taking notes. You should turn those notes into your homeroom teacher, and then make sure you turn in the essential question response in the Middlebury program. If you're here in person, you're going to get credit for it. Okay? Let's go on to the next slide. We have our week 9 calendar. We started week 24. I'm sorry, Unit 24 this week, and you're going to finish it, I believe, on Monday, next week. So you will have, again, another preview of Unit 25 today, okay? So you're working on finishing up this new unit, and I believe that you guys should definitely go back before you take that quiz and that test of the unit. You can review the class next session. I try to post some of the questions that you're going to see on the unit test while we're reviewing. So you get a couple of freebies right there before you take the test. Yes. Here's the essential question for week 9. How are demonstrative adjectives and pronouns used in Spanish? So kind of give me an overall sense of what you learned in today's session. And yet you want to use an example in your explanation as well. So leave it on for a couple of minutes. Again, how are demonstrative adjectives and pronouns used in Spanish? Make sure you use an example in your explanation. So you're going to have some practice with that today. Okay, I gave you a sheet with your vocabulary, so you should have it. You guys should repeat after me the Spanish vocabulary, and then you can go over the English as well. So we're going over measurements, which are las medidas. I'm going to stand here so that you can hear me a little bit better. So we have el peso. The first step you have is on weight. You say la onza for an ounce, la libra for a pound, el gramo, a gram, el kilogramo, kilogram, la tonelada. So you need to take this one a little bit slow. So, la tonelada. Okay, tonelada. Ton. El miligramo. Miligramo. Okay. Then we have our next set, which is la longitud, the length. So when you're measuring length here, you can use either la pulgada, which is the inch, an inch, el pie, a foot, la yarda, el milímetro, el centímetro, el metro, el kilómetro, y la milla, mile. So you can see, we see the words here, metro, 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 metro. So you kind of understand that that's equivalent to meters here. So you just need to figure out kind of at the beginning what they're referring to. It's easier to memorize, I believe, the measurement. Okay. Then we have the volume, el volumen. La cucharadita, a teaspoon. La cuchara, a tablespoon. La taza, a cup. El cuarto, a quart. El galón, a gallon. And then we have el litro, a liter. Okay. Our next set, hold on. Oh. Okay, I don't know what happened to our next set, but I will review it right now. So we have our next set of useful words, and we have la medida, that's a measurement, medir, to measure, cocinar, to cook, hervir, to boil, mezclar, to mix, añadir is to add. And then our last set, okay, hornear, to bake, una pizca de sal, pinch of salt, la receta, recipe, pesarse, to weigh yourself, oneself, cuadrado o cuadrada is squared, la rebanada is a slice. Okay, and I bet we're going to see that slide in a little bit. Okay, so we have a couple of preguntas, questions here. I'm going to give students who are joining me via Blackboard an opportunity to participate. So we're going to work on number 1. Okay, necesito una más de carne. Which one would we choose? You're going to see this question on your unit textbook. I'm giving you guys freebies. See? Okay, we have kilometer. What's a cucharadita? Teaspoon, and then pulgada is what do we have for pulgada? An inch, yeah. So libra, we're saying it's C, is correct. That's a pound. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Me das un slice de pan. So how would we say slice in Spanish? A rebanada. We have litro, a liter, galón, gallon, and a meter. So yeah, you're correct. It would be A for this one. Okay, let's take a look at question 3. Okay, las instrucciones. What does instrucciones look like? Instructions. Para saber cómo cocinar. Cocinar is part of your useful words. Cocinar is cook, to cook. So the instructions, saber, to know cómo cocinar. What are they called? Is it taza, receta, litro, rebanada? Pues una receta. Muy bien. Receta is what? A recipe. Yes. So we have taza, that's a cup, litro, okay, we have liter, and rebanada is a slice. So muy bien, receta. Okay, another question. ¿Puedes añadirle sal a la carne? What is it asking? Añadirle. To add. Can you add sal a la carne? What's sal? Salt. Carne. Yes. So can you add salt to the meat? So añadirle is equivalent to which one of these did you say? B? Yes, to add. So make sure you have your notes ready, or your cards, whatever you use for your vocabulary, okay? You are responsible for this vocabulary for this unit. Okay, here is the grammar, and we're going to have some practice with that. Demonstrative adjectives and pronouns. Okay. What did we go over last time? You're studying it right now, actually. For Unit 24, what type of adjectives are you studying? Do you remember the last question? when you're referring
To yourself.
to yourself. What is that called? To your thing. Remember we went over some reflexive adjectives and pronoun adjectives, reflexive adjectives, me, who, me. Okay, so make sure you're reviewing the reflexive adjectives from Unit 24. So now we're moving on to the demonstrated adjectives and pronouns. And these clarify which object the speaker is referring to. So again, they agree in gender and number. With a noun, they replace or modify. Okay. So in English, we use demonstrative adjectives as well. Okay, and pronouns. Okay. So we have, let's see, we use in English these demonstrative adjectives and pronouns. This, that, these, and those. So you only have two options actually, which is this, okay, this chair, okay, if I had more than one, it would be these chairs. And then we have that option over there. That chair, if you have more than one, it would be those chairs, okay? In Spanish, you have to remember we have three options, okay? So in Spanish, we have three options, and it's este, then it's este, and then that one all the way by the computer, I would say that's aquí. Okay, so we have three different options. I'm talking about distance from the speaker. In English, we only have two. Okay? But in Spanish, it gets a little bit more complicated because not only do you have to think about whether it's more than one, singular or plural, but we also have to think about whether it's masculine or feminine, like we always have. Okay, so we're going to add another option there. Okay, and then Spanish demonstrated adjectives and pronouns are identical. The only difference is that pronouns have a written accent. Okay, so we're going to take a look and see. Okay, I want us to watch this video on the demonstrative adjectives, just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. And those of you who are joining me via Blackboard Collaborate, I have the link. You can just copy and paste it on a different browser. You can watch it and then come back and meet me in Blackboard again. Okay. You could also highlight the link and click on Control-D, and then that's another way to copy and paste. Okay. So, we'll come back in about 4 minutes.
Are adjectives that help us tell one thing from others. For example, my little like food quiz. And demonstrative adjectives are adjectives that help us tell one thing from others. For example, my little like food quiz. En el suelo tengo 3 libros. 3 libros, ¿ok? Este libro y aquel libro. Este libro y aquel libro. Okay? Este libro would be the libro that is the closest. Now, este means this. Este libro is kind of in the middle. It's a little bit farther. Okay? That would mean that. Aquel libro is the book that's the farthest away. So aquel means that also, but it also deals with something being farther. And it's not so close as este, it is farther. Okay? Again, este libro, aquel libro. So with the word in front, I'm further helping you identify the object that I'm talking about. If I were to say, hey, me gusta mucho este libro. Okay? So you would know that I'm talking about the one closest to me. Most likely, I'm pointing to it right now too. But if I say, me gusta mucho aquel libro, it's probably going to be the one that's farthest away. Because aquel deals with the distance. Okay? Este libro is probably the one not quite as far as I'm saying. Okay? So it's kind of how we know we're demonstrating with our words which is what's best demonstrative adjectives. If the object that I'm talking about is feminine, which is silla, they change slightly. Okay? En el cuarto tengo 3 sillas. Okay? Esta silla, aquella silla.
You gotta change it from
Esta silla,
este to esta,
esta silla,
este to esta,
aquella silla.
and here to
So, este or esta both mean this. Este or esta both mean that. And aquel or aquella both mean that farther away. So go ahead and try some now, depending on the picture and where it's located in conjunction with me. Translate it into Spanish. Pause the video if you need more time and check the word that you aren't sure how to say a word. Let's try this first one as an example. So we have 3 perros, 3 dogs, okay? And the arrow is pointing to the one closest to me. That would be this dog. It's a male, or I would have drawn it in such a way that you can tell it's a male, okay? Or a female, I'd have it drawn. But this is a male. So this este perro. Okay. You try to wrap, see the best you can.
where would it be for that one? What is, we have to figure out, is it masculine or feminine? How do we say masculine? El lápiz, so it would be what? Este lápiz. Okay, good. Let's see.
Este lápiz. Este marcador.
Okay, so we're dealing with, this looks like it's a flag, right? Okay, so what's the vocabulary for flag? Is it el bandera or la bandera? La bandera, so it's going to be feminine, so it's going to be what? Esta bandera. I think it's a flag.
Esta bandera. Este pupitre.
So it's this one, all the way far away. Is this masculine or feminine? So what's the Spanish word? It's teléfono is masculine, yes. So we're going to use the one that's farthest away. It's aquel. Aquel teléfono.
Aquel teléfono. Esta calculadora. Aquel coche.
Okay.
Esta camiseta. Okay, that's the basic idea, please. Check out the next video in this series where we'll be going over the plural.
Okay. So they just went over the singular, either masculine, feminine. Okay. And then we still have the plural, masculine, feminine as well. And so I'm going to go back. This is just the beginning. And you guys can go and definitely watch his videos. They're great. You can pause them if you need more practice. Okay, so basically we went over just the singular part, and then we went over demonstrative adjectives. So we have este, which can either be esta, okay, or if you have more than one, it's estos or estas. Then our next one is este, esta, estos, esta. And our last one, that faraway object, is aquel. It could be aquella, if it's more than one, aquellos or aquellas. And look at how Spanish demonstrative pronouns, these are identical. Okay, so same thing, you just need to remember you're using the accent mark to distinguish when you're using an adjective or a pronoun. Okay, like for this one, our accent mark would be on the E throughout. Same thing here, the first one, and then the E for aquel. Aquella, aquellos, aquella. So same thing, just remember one uses the accent mark and then the one we went over today does not. Okay, so adjectives are words that add information about nouns. So we know that from our English class. In the case of demonstrative adjectives, the information added is regarding spatial relationships. So we're talking about where something is located. We know that. So we can say in English, this apple is sweet, but that is sweeter. So we know the proximity to the speaker. But in Spanish, you have that additional third option, which is that faraway object. So see how we can change this first one to the second one. So we could say, esta manzana es dulce, right? We're talking about an apple, that's sweet. Esta manzana es más dulce, and then the one that's farther away, aquella manzana es la más dulce de todas. Okay? I think you guys understand that part. And then when we're talking about pronouns, okay, these ones not only show which object and space the speaker is referring to, but it replaces the object as well. Okay, so my shirt is blue. That one is green. Okay, see how it changes here. Mi camisa es azul. Esta es verde. Okay. More examples. Estas camisas son tuyas, pero estas son mías. These shirts are yours, but those are mine. Me gusta este carro, pero aquel es aún mejor. I like this part, but the one over there is even better. So that's how you can distinguish the adjectives from pronouns. Okay. So right now we're going to work on our exercises. I'm going to go around. And then if you're joining me via Blackboard Collaborate, I did do a file transfer so you can open it up. Or you can work on what you see on the screen for right now. Okay. So we're going to do the first part. I included the chart here. And you can make a copy of this when you finish and give it to your homeroom teacher as a sample work. Okay. The first part is you're going to use the demonstrative adjective. We're not working on pronouns today. That corresponds to this and these. So then you need to make sure that you know whether it's masculine or feminine first, and if it's singular first. And then you have to choose it. Okay, so for the first one, we're just going to use this first row, the first spot. So I want you guys to figure it out. So this pen, this book. I'm going to go around and help you guys out. So 1 through 5 again, you're going to use the first, where is it? You're going to use this first row, okay, to figure it out. This pen, so it all depends on what you're talking about here, okay? Is it masculine, feminine, singular, plural? And then you have to match it up to the correct one. Okay, so number 1, thank you, Austin, for participating. You could just write it in the chat text box 2, 3, 4, 5, or on the whiteboard. I'll give you guys privileges to write on the whiteboard. Okay, so what do we have in this one? Girl, try to say girl. They got it, she. Girls, help each other out. How do you say girl? Niña. Mm-hmm. Very good. So the first part. Apartment. How do we say apartment, guys? Apartamentos. So it would be los apartamentos, or we say el apartamento is masculine, but in this case we're dealing with more than one. Girls, we said niña, so it's going to be feminine plural. uno. And then so esta pluma, este libro, estas niñas, and we said apartments is apartamentos, so it's going to be masculine plural. It's more than one. So es muy bien. And teachers, okay, are we going to use masculine or plural in Spanish? So we use, yes, masculine. So we use los. We say dos maestros. So that's masculine plural. It would be the same. Yeah, estos maestros. And age. E-R-O-X. Okay, so let me review this. I'll write it down. So number one, what did we have? Esta pluma. Number two, este libro. Right, we're using the closest one. And then three, estas niñas, la tilde en la N. Number four. And number five. Estos maestros. Unless someone specifically says that they are feminine, then you would use the feminine plural. Okay? So let's do the next part. You're going to use that or those. Okay? So we're using the este form, and then have to agree with gender and number, so I can either be esta, estos, or esta. And of course, we need to know the vocabulary first. How do we say women?
Mujeres.
Mujeres. Mujeres. And of course, women is feminine, so it's plural feminine for the first one. Remember, you're using the second row now, because you're either using that if it's singular or those if it's plural. Okay, for Spanish, we also have to take into consideration whether it's masculine or feminine. So I'll give you guys some time, and I'm going to check. Room, how do you say room? Cuarto, el cuarto, el cuarto. Phone, we went over phone today. What's phone? Okay. Room is el cuarto, so only that is only one. So we're using two. The first one is just a single one. So we're using extra. So PH was the S for Spanish. El acento, teléfono. Mujeres, M, U, J, E, R, E, S. Mujeres. Okay, you can finish it and give that to your homeroom teacher. Make a copy so you can have your notes. Okay, so number 6, we said estas mujeres. Number 7, we said estos carros. What's number 8? That room. Este cuarto. Number 9. Yeah, we have este teléfono. And remember, we're not using este, we're using este because we're referring to that, or those. The second level of proximity. Okay? Number 10 is la computadora, so it's what?
No mask.
La.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you had it right. So what would it be? Esta computadora. It's only one, so it's esta computadora. Computadora. There we go. Okay, let's work on that last one, and that is the one that we don't have in English, right? It's that third faraway object. Okay, so you're going to have to use either aquel, which is masculine singular, aquella, feminine singular, or the plural one, aquellos or aquellas. Okay. So I'll give you number 11. So houses is casa. There's more than one. So it would be aquellas casas. Would be 11. Okay? Aquellas casas. And then so we're going to work on 12, 13, 14, and 15. So you can use mujer. You can use mujer or señora. And we know that both would be singular feminine. So if you say la mujer or la señora. Tree is, we have árbol, right? Is el árbol. How do we say building? That's a tough one. So buildings, it's more than one. It's los. It's masculine. Edificios. Los edificios. And how do we say students? We should know how to say students.
Are walls the trees?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we're talking about students here in Spanish again. Is it going to be masculine, feminine? Mm-hmm. Student, masculine, plural. So let me go check on you guys, and then we'll finish the exercise. Mm-hmm. You don't have to include those. It's almost the same thing. S, E, S, S, E, initial. How do you say student?
Students.
Yes. Yeah. You're all done? Okay. Thank you. Just acento la. So we have aquellas, aquellas, aquellos, and aquellos. Okay. So let's review. Let's write these down. So 16. Okay, what's 16, guys? I'm sorry. There's no 16. What's 12? Aquella mujer o señora. Okay, muy bien. 13. Aquel árbol. Acento en la A. 14, aquellos edificios. And our last one, 15, aquellos estudiantes. Okay, when we have more than one and it's not specified if it's masculine or feminine, like teachers and students, we're going to use the masculine form. Okay? So good job, guys. So you understand demonstrative adjectives. You got some practice with that. And you're going to get the practice with the pronouns as well. Pronouns are exactly the same. You just use the accent mark, remember. Okay, so any questions you have right now? Make sure you answer essential question number 9 to get credit in Middlebury. And if you have any questions for me, you can stay after. Otherwise, you guys are good to go. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day. And if you need me to sign this, let me know. Okay, what's the essential question? I'll post the essential question. There we go. Thank you for joining me.